I rented a GetAround two times, and here's my experience from renting it. So, first, I'd like to just give a little bit of advice on what to avoid. So, before you rent GetAround, make sure that you have installed the app and provided documentation to get approved for car rental. Because if you think that you're going to just download the app and immediately start renting, that's not how it goes. You need to provide documentation, get approved. So in my case, I end up I did all that, but then it didn't approve me. So there was a manual process in GetAround. So they approved me that way. So one of the other things that I didn't like about GetAround was that when you go onto their app, they don't tell you which cars are available immediately. So you think that when you see the map of the and then the cars overlaid on top of that, you would think that all the cars are available, but that's not true. And they don't provide a way for you to verify within certain parameter, like 2 miles or quarter mile, these cars are available. And also, so you have to check these cars individually, and that kind of takes time, and it's frustrating when you think you have a car but you really don't. And then another thing is that they may not be available for the time slot you want. Some cars may be available 1 to 2 hours. Others, if you want longer time, then that choice is not available. So my experience has been is that one of the cars that I booked, and I was halfway to picking up the car, GetAround called me saying that that car has some battery problems. So the owner wanted me to select another car, and that car was like 7 miles away. Although they offered me a Uber ride, and Uber would pick me and drop me off, but I had to do that myself, connecting with the Uber, and then I would get reimbursed. So I didn't go for that option, but because it was too much hassle, and I had some groceries and things in my arms, so it's just not very practical to have someone select an Uber so you could get a ride. I think the whole point was that you would get around a car, and it's kind of frustrating. So, and another thing was that after you book your car, it is really hard to find a car. In our case, when I booked my first car, it was really hard to find what car it is, where it is. It was a huge parking lot, and they only provided you like what the car looks like. Uh, License plate and things were not provided, and you would think that a company like GetAround, their whole model is driven by mobile, and they could find out where the car is and triangulate, so you don't have to search for it. But they don't do that, so spend like 40 minutes. It really around. Sours my enthusiasm for GetAround, because although the person was helpful, you would think that you don't need to call someone to find out where the car is. So what they do is, when you book a car, they just give you an approximate location. They don't give you exact location. So that was kind of a bummer. Maybe they do it for security reason. I don't know, but I think there's a better way to get better experience for people who do Uber ride. GetAround ride. Another thing is that I noticed that I booked from these traditional car rental places and GetAround in New York City area, and actually I saw GetAround being more expensive than your traditional Avis budget or rental places. So I wasn't seeing the benefit of renting from GetAround. And one of the things I noticed was that the cars in GetAround, it was kind of a mixed bag. Some cars were okay far as cleanliness. Other cars were really bad, smelly, as like floor mats and things were not taken care of. So you might get a good car, or but you're just likely to get a bad car that has problem. So the one car we rented, the second car we rented, it had like bird poop on the in the front hood, and it was like smelling, and it was like trashy inside. And what else? Yeah, this was a real gem. I wouldn't want to rent from this place ever again. Let's see what else. Yeah, while we were driving it toward the end of our trip, the check engine light came on, and that was kind of not expected. And so I reported that in my review for on the app for GetAround. Another thing that I experienced was that this car was parked in like a mall parking lot, and as you probably know, in malls, you may need to like a check-in, check-out. With that gate, they give you like a paper slip ticket, so you can like time in, time out. So in my case, the previous renter did not bring in their check-in paper slip ticket. So the owner of the car or the representative from that car called me that there is a car, there is a person that's going to be coming and to give me that ticket so I can get out of the parking garage or parking deck. So I waited for like about 30 minutes or so, and then some guy came in and gave me that parking ticket so I can go out. So that was another incident that I probably would like to avoid. It's kind of like if you're in a hurry to go somewhere and then you have to wait 30 minutes someone to give you a parking ticket so you can get out of the parking deck. So that was not a good experience either. So, and one other thing I noticed was that I was under the impression that these cars were rented by like regular people who want to make some cash. But these two cars I rented were actually from like people in business of renting. So they were not like some, Joe renting his cars while he's not driving it. They look like company cars. And that their business model was based on, doing a short-term rental. So that was interesting. Wasn't expecting this, and I lived, around Bayonne area, so there was like a couple of cars there, but those cars were never available, and so I don't even know. Like there were like blockage for like a month and a half. So I'm sure people, whoever owned that car was using it probably, but I don't see a whole lot of purpose of having a car on GetAround when they're not even available. So overall, it wasn't a pleasant experience. I rented car for like 5-6 hours, but I had to pay a price of a whole day. So that's no better than, actually it's more expensive than your traditional Avis budget or enterprise rental cars. So hopefully you found it useful, and if you like the video, please subscribe. uh, this is my opinion, and this is coming from personal experience. So So I'm just telling you from my experience. Yours might be different, or other people's might be different. But I wasn't impressed by the GetAround service. Um, it was more hassle. Well, the worst part was that you wasted more time than you would have like traditional rental, because you had to look around the car and then spend finding the car that fits your time slot, and then after you find it, then you go, whatever you need to do with the car, shopping or whatever, and then you have to go drop the car off same location. So unless you have lived around trains or some public transportation, unless the car is right near you, it's really not that convenient. So uh, I hope this helps someone thinking about renting it around. But think about all the things that they don't tell you. Uh, the car network is not that great, and most of the cars near you probably won't be available. So even in New York City, Bayonne area, you would think that it would have a lot of cars, but they don't, and they're charged like my insurance. Oh yeah, one more thing about insurance is I went and tried to prove that I had insurance, and I went to my website, insurance website, and then told them this is the document. Even then they said no, we cannot verify that you have car insurance. So I had to buy insurance from them, which cost me extra $20-$30. And also, if you're not careful, they also charge you for the toll, which is reasonable, because you're driving the car, so you should pay. But uh, you know that's why maybe you want to have your own GPS, like Garmin or something, so that you can avoid those tolls. So I hope you find it useful. If you like it, please subscribe and please like the video. Thank you very much. Bye bye.